Do you know what some of the world's most talented and inspiring people have in common? Disabilities. But just because someone has a physical or mental disability doesn't mean they can't achieve incredible things. And believe me when I say that the people in today's video will blow you away with their talents and their drive to show the world that no matter what cards you're dealt with in life, you can still achieve so much and go about it all with an amazing sense of optimism.
As retrofitting is a huge expense later on.
From a blind musician to a deaf Academy Award-winning actress to a skateboarding athlete who is bound to a wheelchair, these people will make you think twice the next time you complain about a headache or how you're not as good at golf as your buddy is. Make sure you stay tuned for number 1 because that woman is a real hero. You don't want to miss her. Get comfortable and get ready for disabled people who did amazing things. Like and subscribe right now or you're gonna have bad luck for the next week. Don't risk it. Let's start. Zion Clark. Zion Clark is an incredible young guy. At 22 years old, he's determined to leave his mark on the world, despite having no legs. He was born this way, suffering from a rare disorder that impaired the development of his lower spine. Only 1 in every 100,000 children are born with this condition each year, and due to this unfortunate disability, Zion ended up living in foster care until he was 16. But his whole life turned around for the better when he was fostered by his now mom, Kimberly, who has given him the support he has needed to achieve his dream of becoming a wrestler. He is now a very talented and keen sportsman, and is hoping to become one of the best talented freestyle wrestlers in the world. He started wrestling in 2nd grade, even though he didn't really know what he was doing, and adapted it to work to suit him. Now he trains twice a day, 6 days a week, and that is commitment.
State titles in track. I've practiced 2 months in the sport and won 2 state titles.
Look out, world, there's a new wrestler on the block. This kid is going places. Frida Kahlo. Did you even know that Frida Kahlo had a disability? A world-famous painter from Mexico, she lived from 1907 to 1954 and was known for her portraits, especially her self-portraits. Her work was hugely inspired by nature in Mexico and had a surrealist touch to it. Unfortunately, not only did she suffer from polio as a child, which left her with problems in her right leg and foot, she was also in a bus accident in 1925, which left her unable to walk for 3 months. However, it was during this time that she seriously took up painting. She would paint from her bed using a specially made easel, and with a mirror, she would often paint herself and explore the deeper questions of life surrounding identity and existence. Tell us, Frida, what is the meaning of life? After this accident, she had a major spine problem, which caused her great pain throughout her life, but there's no denying that we will never forget her beautiful art. John Nash. John Nash was an American mathematician who lived from 1928 to 2015. He most definitely left his mark on the world with his contributions to game theory, differential geometry, and the study of partial differential equations. Oh man, I should have listened more back in math class. Luckily, there are people like Nash who dedicated his life to providing us with insight into chance and decision-making systems that are found in everyday life. However, in 1959, he started showing signs of suffering from a mental illness that was treated for paranoid schizophrenia. Fortunately, his condition later improved, and he was able to get back to academic work. He may sound familiar, and that's probably because you read Sylvia Nasr's biography, A Beautiful Mind, or seen the movie with the same name starring Russell Crowe as Nash. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? Nash's mind was incredible, and even today, his theories are used in economics. Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic is an Australian-American Christian evangelist and motivational speaker, and this is not the only thing that makes him inspiring. He has a rare disorder where he was born without arms and legs. But this is what has made him the amazing person that he is today. He has overcome every obstacle life has thrown at him and believes that he can do whatever he puts his mind to. And the best part is that he has this belief in other people too.
Look at me and you want the confidence that I have.
In 2005, he founded Life Without Limbs, which is an international nonprofit and ministry. And then in 2007, he founded Attitude is Altitude, a secular motivational speaking company. From golf to swimming to inspiring others, is there anything this guy can't do? Despite his disorder, he is probably enjoying his life more than most, and his attitude is everything. He can even laugh at himself. We can all learn a thing or two from Nick, I think. Andrea Bocelli. Where do I even begin with Andrea Bocelli? An Italian opera singer, songwriter, tenor, and record producer. Oh, and he's blind too. At just 5 months old, he was diagnosed with congenital glaucoma, and by the age of 12, he went completely blind after a football accident. However, that hasn't stopped him from achieving success. He rose to fame in 1994 when he won the preliminary round of the 44th Sanremo Music Festival, and ever since that, he's been on a roll, winning multiple prestigious awards. Who could forget Time to Say Goodbye, which he won the Echo Music Award for in 1997. That's a real classic and really highlights how epic his voice is. He really does have one of the most amazing voices in the world, don't you think? Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox is a Canadian-American actor, comedian, author, film producer, and activist. He's probably best known for starring in the Back to the Future trilogy, where he played Marty McFly, but sadly in 1991, at the age of 29, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. That hasn't stopped him though. Not only has he won multiple awards for his work in the film world, he's also become an advocate for researching a cure for Parkinson's, founding the Michael J. Fox Foundation. He's pretty amazing, and in 2012, he received an honorary degree of Doctor of Laws from the Justice Institute of British Columbia.
Causes tremors and stiffness. Too much medicine produces uncontrollable movement and slurring.
Who recognized and wanted to honor his accomplishments in both performing and his drive and commitment to raising funding and awareness for Parkinson's. Wow, he is truly a remarkable guy, and hasn't let this disease stop him from doing it at all. Alex Zanardi. Alex Zanardi is an Italian professional racing driver and paracyclist who first developed an itch for racing when he was just a teen. In 1997 and 1998, he won the kart championship and even raced in Formula One from 1991 to 94.
See it as a flash, me driving on the motorway.
And then again in 1999. However, in 2001, he had a major crash at the American Memorial in Germany, which resulted in the amputation of his legs. Who would have thought that something so tragic could happen to him during that race? And yet he took it in his stride and went on to become one of the most inspiring athletes out there. He's now a very successful Paralympic athlete, having won 2 gold medals at the 2012 London Paralympics and 2 more gold medals at the 2016 Rio Paralympics. Wow. However, we wish him all the best as he recently had another devastating crash. Fingers crossed everything is okay. Aaron Fotheringham. Aaron Wheels Fotheringham, who was born in 1991, is an extreme wheelchair athlete who performs the most insane tricks adapted from skateboarding and BMX.
Gonna have to do some repairs on that, but we're here. We're alive, we're good.
Suffering from spina bifida, he lost the ability to use his legs. But let me tell you, that has not stopped him from embracing life tenfold. Check this kid out. He uses a customized wheelchair designed by Box Wheelchairs that has 4-wheel suspension so that he can perform all the same kinds of tricks and moves that skateboarders and BMXers can do. I mean, talk about not letting your disability hold you back. Aaron has even performed a backflip on the Nitro Circus live tour on a 50-foot mega ramp. And why not, right? He's shown the world how fun life can be, even if you're bound to a wheelchair. Go Aaron. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking will forever be known as one of the most brilliant theoretical physicists in the history of the world. He lived from 1942 until 2018, and his work on the origins and structure of the universe, the Big Bang, and black holes have absolutely revolutionized the field of physics. Sadly, just before his 21st birthday back in 1963, he was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, which is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Doctors predicted that he would die within 2 years of diagnosis, but Hawking soon proved them wrong.
I don't know if this bet was ever settled, and if so, which way it was decided.
Not only did he go on to obtain his PhD, but he also paved the road to finding new ways in thinking about the universe over the next few decades. He eventually ended up in a wheelchair, and in 1985, talking became a struggle. So he had an emergency tracheotomy, which resulted in total loss of speech. But thank goodness for technology, because Cambridge constructed a speech-generating device that allowed Hawking to still be able to communicate in an electronic voice that I'm sure you're all familiar with. His legacy will live on, that's for sure. What a guy. Ralph Braun. As a young boy, Ralph was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy in 1947. Back then, doctors told him and his parents that he'd never be independent, but they were all determined to prove the doctors wrong.
But would I trade it for anything? Absolutely not.
As he began to lose the ability to walk, he got to work creating and engineering the first battery-powered scooter, and from there, he was unstoppable. He went on to design the world's first wheelchair lift, which he installed in an old Jeep. What Ralph lacked in physical mobility, he sure made up for in his determination to prove to the world that people with physical disabilities can not only participate fully in an active life, they can also flourish and achieve whatever they set their mind to. He even started Braun Ability, which is a leading manufacturer of mobility products all across the globe. Sadly, he passed away in 2013 at the age of 72, but just look at everything he achieved and pioneered for people who might undergo the same challenges he did. Bravo! John Hockenberry. John Hockenberry is an American journalist and author that was left with paraplegia from the chest down after a car accident when he was just 19 years old, where he sustained a major spinal cord injury.
So we need to know precisely where we are.
He's an amazing guy, and as well as having reported from all over the world on a wide variety of stories, he's also a prominent figure in the disability rights movement. You may have seen his TED Talks on We're All Designers, or The Power of Story in Dark Times. Truly, he's an inspiration, and has even written a best-selling memoir called Moving Violations, War Zones, Wheelchairs, and Declarations of Independence, as well as a novel and numerous other pieces. Doesn't it just go to show that even the most tragic incident can result in something brilliant? Marlee Matlin. Born in 1965 in Illinois, Marlee Matlin is a major inspiration. Despite being legally deaf after losing her hearing at a young age, she still went on to pursue an acting career, and oh boy, did she do well.
I definitely want to thank the Academy and its members.
She won an Academy Award in 1987 at the age of 21 for her role in Children of a Lesser God, where she played Sarah, a young deaf woman who becomes romantically involved with a teacher at the school for the deaf. She was the youngest actress to ever win an Academy Award in that category, and to this date, she's the only deaf performer to have won an Academy Award too. Wow! And from there, she just kept climbing the ladder of success. One thing about her that's very interesting is that she refused to learn how to lip read and talk, choosing instead to communicate solely through sign language. She is truly a brilliant advocate for the rights of deaf people, and will only accept a role if the producers agree to caption the film. Good on her! Stella Young. Stella Young was an Australian comedian, journalist, and disability rights activist. She was born in 1982 with osteogenesis imperfecta and used a wheelchair for pretty much her whole life. What was so amazing about Stella was her ability to speak so openly about how just because you have a disability doesn't mean you're just an object of inspiration, or that being disabled makes you exceptional.
One of the series that he made, which was quite ridiculing of short-statured people.
She said it like it was, and was really at the forefront of making sure people knew that being disabled was not a bad thing, or that being disabled made her particularly brave. Her goal was to deconstruct the way that society perceived disabled people, and she most certainly did that. Not only was she an activist, she also knew how to make people laugh, and there's not much better than that. Her raw honesty and passion will live on. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how absolutely awesome these people are? Which of them do you think is the most amazing? Personally, I just can't choose. I'm blown away by all of them. Let us know your fave in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.